let's just for the moment, and I think it is important to kind of draw some sort of line or boundary between these two stories. We have all this amazing stuff about the shenanigans. That's a nice term, isn't it? Shenanigans that are going on around the Waipareira Trust, the Manurewa Marae, the Maori Party, Whanau Ora, John Tamihere, Electoral Commission, whole ball of wax. Very murky, but great reporting from Andrea Vance that tells us that maybe someone cheated at the last election. Cheated at an election. Mainstream media will get into this. We are just leading them there by their woke little noses. Okay? But there's another issue going on in politics, and this was as a result of the budget, those supposedly massive protests around the budget that, of course, is disproportionately hard on Maori, etc., etc. And the call from the Maori Party for a separate parliament, a new separate Maori parliament. And the fact that that call was coming from a party that has MPs in the House who have sworn allegiance to the Crown, to, well, what was then Queen Elizabeth II, now is King Charles III, whether or not that was proper, whether or not they haven't committed some sort of treason or at the very least broken their oath of allegiance. Also, we've had problems with Maori MPs simply not turning up for the budget debate. And then we had the Maori King coming out saying, I am afraid of a Maori parliament. So really, what is the mood amongst Maoridom? Because we need to understand that the Maori Party does not represent all Maori. And I thought, who is someone I know and is a relatively straight shooter, even if I don't agree with him, who is Maori and might have some bloody idea? And the name of our next guest, Buddy Mikaere, sprung to mind. So I thought I'd get Buddy on the line and we'd have a little bit of a yarn about it. Buddy, how are you?
Good morning, Mr. Plunket. I'm good, thank you.
Good. Look, first up, Buddy, let's just get this clear. We start talking about these issues here on the platform, and it's easy for people to believe that the sort of brand of radicalism of the Maori Party, that they're speaking for all Maori and they all want the same things. And Rawiri Waititi is like, just channeling every single Maori in the country. Is that the case?
No, of course not. And you mentioned that in your lead-up. He does not represent the voice of all Maori. He certainly doesn't represent me. In the same way that David Seymour, I believe, doesn't represent the voice of all Pākehā.
Actually, it's a good way to put it. Yeah, it is, Buddy. Yeah. All right. Does he represent, or does this call and their type of radicalism represent a high proportion of Maori or a growing proportion of Maori?
Now, I think that the message that was put out by a spokesperson for the party, that does not, or the way it's expressed for a starter, I mean, there's no need for such profanity.
Now, we're talking here, let's be clear, we're talking about Kiri Tamihere Waititi's 6-minute rant that we played here on the platform.
Yes,
and you've
right.
now seen, Buddy. What did you make of that?
Oh, I just thought that was terrible. I know that some Maori are very angry about what's happening, but expressing it in those profane terms does us no favours whatsoever. And I know that there are a number of Maori people that I know who are very upset at the way that message was expressed.
All right. Do you think there was some sort of plan behind it? I mean, I thought, to be honest, Buddy, and I don't mean to be rude, looked like she'd been on the pipe.
Well, I know they're denying it now, but, I mean, it just seems to me that it's just political drama.
All right. Okay, political drama. What about the call for a separate Maori parliament? How did that go down in the wider Maori community? And, Buddy, again, I'm not trying to suggest that you speak for the wider Maori community. I just wanted someone who's in a different world than me that I kind of trust to have a yarn with.
Oh, Thank you, Sean. That's a compliment in a way.
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
Well, it's been tried before, and there are a number of various attempts to make a separate Maori parliament, but it never worked. And why didn't it work? It's because, while it's a very simple idea to put forward, it's very hard to actually give it wings or make it work. And, I'd far rather that we use the institutions that we've already got in place to give a more united voice to Māori. And so, the one that I'm thinking of right now is the Iwi Leaders Forum, which consists of all of these of all the Iwi getting together every so often to talk about issues that are of concern and that are shared, but not just the negative stuff, also dealing with the positive stuff, How do we move things forward, for example? So I don't really see the need for a separate Māori parliament when we already have such organisations in place and that, and from my perspective anyway, are working very well.
Okay. Maori King came out and said he was afraid of it. What is your general feeling that wider Māoridom, if you like established Māoridom, I'm not going to call them the Maori elite, they've said, nah, guys, get back in your box, this ain't a goer?
I think that would be a very widely held view.
Right. Well, how do you feel then, Buddy, when Jack Tame sits there with people seriously discussing it? Our kind of woke mainstream media seem to be prepared to pander to this idea.
Well, it fills up the bloody media time, doesn't it? Why not have something like that to attract attention to your particular platform? Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, no pun intended. Yeah, sure.
No, I get you.
You know what I mean.
So it's a bit of a publicity stunt. It's a bit of a cheap trick.
Well, I think so, yeah. And I don't think it's going to win the Māori Party any new friends.
All right. And would your prediction be that the call for a separate Maori Parliament will die a death? It will wither on the vine?
Yeah, especially if the Kings come out now and said, this is not a good idea.
Okay.
Perhaps let's have a rethink and a reset.
See, I knew this would be good for everyone. Everyone can just calm the farm a bit now, Buddy, can't they? But they're not calming the farm, and if you don't mind getting into this, you won't have read it if you're just relying on legacy media. You're aware of the story around the Manurewa marae and privacy breaches and problems with the Electoral Commission around the Maori Party?